I've made a bit of a mess at the same time. I'm going to get all this cleaned down, but that's the main reason why I like using this. Water quality is absolutely amazing. This 3D filter pad from mountainTree can be washed over and over again. And this is only 3 days worth. Over the years I've worked out that there's two types of filtration, biological and mechanical. Slip it straight underneath the spray bar, took the filter floss out, and you can really see the difference. I've got it over there in those two shower filters, and so the water's being cleaned a lot better than what it is by using this. I'm just explaining it the whisperer way. The main reason why I'm showing you this is because the 3D filter pad is washable, it's reusable. I'm just going to crack this straight open, and I know there's a lot of people out there that do actually use filter floss. This video is sponsored by mountainTree. So over the years where I've been keeping koi, to be fair, nearly every fish going really. I've had fish tanks, I've had koi ponds, and I've still got loads of it now. Over the years I've worked out that there's two types of filtration, biological and mechanical. And the first stage of filtration to keep any healthy koi pond or any healthy fish tank is mechanical filtration. So mechanical filtration, there's several ways of doing this. You can use a drum filter that cleans out all of your dirty fish poo, all of your dirty waste. You can use a pressure filter that uses sponges to stop those big solid lumps of fish waste. What doesn't happen in filtration like this is that it doesn't take away all of the tiny little fines in a pond. And over the years I've used several different items in a shower filter. Items like filter floss, I've used the mountainTree filter mat that I really do like. I've got that in there now. On a system like what I've got here in front of me, because it's got such a fine sieve running out of the drum filter, the mechanical stage really takes care of itself. With the lotus root media that's in there, I don't really get any fines in this pond whatsoever. But I've currently set my son up a tank, and there's a few other ways of combating certain little fines. This is my son's pond. We currently built this together, and to be fair, it's doing outstanding. We did start to notice we were getting a few fines. What I currently did was put a piece of filter floss in there to see how much difference the filter floss caught compared to the spiral filter mat. And as you can see, both of these are catching quite a bit. The filter floss is absolutely riddled with fish poo waste, and I need to maintain it and I need to take it out. But what you can see that's happening, because there's so much waste there, it ain't actually bypassing through that filter floss anymore. It's running right over the top of it, and it's coming down to this edge over here, and it's completely caked in muck. The spiral filter mat, it's catching all of the big fines before it goes down through. But what I found is a 3D filter pad from mountainTree, and this is the mechanical stage of filtration. The main reason why I'm showing you guys today is because it's washable, and it's reusable, and it's durable. So I can remember over the years when I used to put filter floss in the top of a shower filter, and I used to buy a 5 metre reel of filter floss, and I used to go through one of them every 2 or 3 weeks, because every day when I got home from work, I would cut a new section, put it into the top tray, and I was constantly cleaning it because I didn't have a drum filter. So in effect, I was the human drum filter because I was using that filter floss to take away all of the fines. The koi doesn't actually need clear water. The main reason why we have clear water is so we can enjoy our fish a lot better. But I thought to myself, I'm going to give this a bit of a blast because I've actually used it on my nephew's pond and it's been absolutely outstanding. I'm hoping to nip up there to show you how easy it is to wash. But the main reason why I want to show you this is because the filter floss, once you've used it once, you've got to chuck it away. And this 3D filter pad from mountainTree can be washed over and over again. So I'm going to cut some of this, put it in the top of there. All of these koi are doing fantastic. Take into consideration that inside of here, this is being pre-filtered mechanically by a pressure pump, which returns up to the top of the shower filter. It just proves that these filters down here, they really are not man enough to keep a pond nice and clear. Especially when you can see how much muck that filter floss has caught up the top there, and the spiral filter mat over there. I do apologise about the little tree and the bird. I'm going to get this cut. I'm going to put it in there, and then I want to test some other media. The main reason why I'm showing you this is because the 3D filter pad is washable, it's reusable, and I know there's a lot of people out there that do actually use filter floss. And if I can save you £1 by one investment and buying the 3D filter pad, it will save you a lot of money in the long run, because filter floss itself, you can't wash it. Once it gets dirty, you know, it's fit for the bin. You can't do anything else with it. But the 3D filter pad you can wash. So as you can see, I've took the filter floss out, and you can really see the difference of filter floss is outstanding. You can see that it's stopped any of that mechanical waste entering this section of the filter. You can certainly see that it's all bunged up this side, and I've been doing this test just to see how good filter floss actually is. But the biggest downside to it, once it gets in the filter floss, you just can't get it out, and you have to chuck this in the bin, and this is only 3 days worth. And to be fair, it does keep the pond clear, but like I said before, this style of filter in a pond with a pressure pump up to a shower works really well. You have to be the human drum filter, and you have to maintain this on a regular basis. Downsides about it, how much this costs, and you have to chuck it away every 3 days. It's the main reason why I want to use this 3D filter pad, because it's pretty much identical to filter floss, and this stuff's washable, which you can wash it by hand, or you can put a pressure washer on it. So I'm going to get this opened up and put it across that whole section. I just want to add all of the links to the mountainTree products down in the comment section. But if you're in the UK, you can pretty much get hold of all of the mountainTree products from selective koi sales, but you can also get hold of that with any sort of one of your local koi dealers. If they've got a wholesale account with selective koi sales, they'll be able to get hold of any of the mountainTree products direct from them. I'm just going to crack this straight open. So the 3D filter pad, like I said, it's washable, it's reusable. The length that it is, you could in effect fold it in half and double it up if you wanted to, or you can cut it to the size that's required. What I'm going to do, my shower filter itself, or the spray bar, is probably about half of that, so I'm just going to mark and measure it with my fingers as a rough guide, and it is exactly half by the looks of this. Mrs. Whisperer wants to come and have a look. It's super easy to cut. You can cut to the size that's required. Because it's washable, I'll be able to get a pressure washer out and give it a good old pressure wash, if you know what I mean. I've been testing it up my nephew's pond, his little goldfish pond, and they've had fantastic results with it. And as you have a look, real close look, you can see how fine it is, the thickness of it here. You can really see the density of it, but it's a lot more like durable material. I suppose that's why it says washable durable on the packet. You could literally, after this gets caked up with some of the mechanical fish poo, you could put it in a bucket, give it a good squeeze round, and then basically put it back where you need it to go. So I'm going to put one section in to start with. I could in effect put both sections in to double up the filtration to get it even more, but to start with in this filter in Pacific, I just want to put one section all the way across the top. Just slip it straight underneath the spray bar. Come underneath the spray bar, you can just sort of guide it into place. What I do recommend with any filter floss or 3D filter pad is leave yourself a little gap either side. So as you can see, the filter floss is put in place. It does run across the whole of the spray bar, but little top tip, if you leave yourself a little gap either side of your spray bar, because it's not actually catching any of the waste down there. If the 3D filter pad ever gets clogged up, it won't make the tray overfill, if you know what I mean. It will have space for the water to go. Mechanically and maintaining it, you should keep an eye on it without leaving it for weeks and weeks anyway. But we're going to see how much that catches over the next 24 hours, and I'll report back to you. So a lot of you know I use the Lotus Root Bacteria House, which I use in that shower filter, I use in that shower filter, I use in that shower filter, and I even use it in the shower filter that we just put the 3D filter pad in as well. I had a lot of questions and a lot of people asked me, what's the difference between the Lotus Root and a general sort of cheaper version or something that looks very similar or the same size compared to the Lotus Root, and I thought I'll sort of do a little bit of a comparison really, and I'm trying to work out the best way of doing it. I wanted to show you a bit of a test of how much more surface area that the Lotus Root's got compared to a cheaper brand of media like this, which is used along the board in a lot of koi keeping world, because the Lotus Root media is a lot more expensive than a general cheaper copycat version. It depends what you want from your filtration, and if you spend a little bit more, the better quality media, what results does that actually give you? Water quality is absolutely amazing. Fish are super happy, and it's down to this bacteria house right here. I wanted to weigh both of them to start with being dry, and then I'm going to do a little test really to see how much water that this one can hold compared to what this one can hold. So Mrs. Whisperer, I'm struggling for words. What's the word when you're trying to use when how much water this can hold? What's it called?
Absorbs.
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 Right.
Is that what you're after?
That's what I'm after, yeah. So we're going to see the difference to see how much water this one can hold and how much water this one can hold, and see which one holds the most. Right, so I got my scales out just to do a little bit of a test really. This is the Lotus Root media from mountainTree. This is a pretty much copycat design, but the surface area on this is nowhere near the same as the surface area on what this is. I mean, you can automatically see the surface area on this is a lot more. The water's got so many more places to go. The beneficial bacteria has got a home to live, and there's just so much more surface area on it. What I want to do a test on is how much they weigh as a dry form, because both of these are both brand new products. So that one's weighing 177 grams. So you guys will have to keep an eye on this as I start making this video. This one weighs 126, basically 127 in it. It's pretty close. But we're going to see, we're going to do a little race to start with, because they're both pretty much dead similar. I want to just put both of them in a cup of water. If the water can absorb up through the media, because it should be, being porous, the water should get sucked up through both of them. And we're just going to do a test. So I'm going to put a little capful into there, make that water go blue, and you should be able to see the water being sucked up through the media, and we'll see which one gets the most water up through it. So I'm going to fill both the trays at the bottom so they're both identical, and we're going to have a little race to see which one obviously sucks the water up first, with it being sort of porous, you know what I mean? It's definitely worth a shout anyway, and it will just show you guys the difference between, I already know how much better this is compared to that, but I just want to show you guys the reason why I use the mountainTree media. It is a little bit more expensive, I'm not going to lie, but the quality is a million times better. So let me get a little capful of this into there, make this go blue, put it into there, and let's have a race. Just so we can see it. It won't need much. That should allow us to see it now. And I'm not going to be using this for anything apart from demonstrating to you guys. See that? Nice and blue. So I'm going to put a little bit into that tray. And I'm going to put them dead level. A little bit into that tray. Are you happy with that, guys? Both dead level. That one's a little bit more. There we go. So they're both basically rimming the top of the tray. And this might work, it might not work. I don't know any other different ways of me showing you. I'm going to give this one a head start. You can see they're both bone dry, complete flat bottom. That one can go there, and that one can go there. It might take a little while for it to rise up, but we're going to see which one evaporates the water the quickest. So I should put you on a bit of a time lapse really to watch the fish. I don't know how long it will take. I don't even know if it will work. I'm thinking this one's going to be the winner. Just to show you, I've literally put a little bit there and a little bit there. You can see the blue being sucked up into this one. If I just give it a bit of a stir in both of them. This one's not moving anywhere yet, and you can already see that the blue has started to weigh up through here, and you can see that this one's at the top of the brim and this one's going down slowly. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes before this one gets completely submerged. You can already see some of that water's changing and it's already moved up to here. You can see the colour difference, that it's still really dry here, but this is already wet. So this one's still bone dry. It's a little bit wetter here, I suppose, not much. You can see the water disappearing in this one. Can you see how this one's bone dry and this is wet now? That's very interesting to see how porous that this media actually is and how quick it's tracking up through compared to the other one. Just interesting, but it's definitely the reason why I use this media and not this media. I mean, for the money, this is alright, but what I found over the years, I'll put a little clip up now, that this here becomes really brittle and crumbles and just disintegrates into the shower, and it releases into the water over a period of time. And I've got a video clip right up now that you can see just by touching it, it just completely dismantles and breaks. The generation 2 on the Lotus media there, never ever had a problem with it. Like I said, I've used it in that shower filter, I've got it over there in those 2 shower filters, and I'll put a clip up now, you can see it up in this shower filter, and I've not had one issue with it whatsoever. And it's not crumbly, it's not breaky. It is more expensive, but it's a million times better. You can see we're only 3 layers off now, and you can see it climbing up through here. That blue water's now up to this height. Really interesting. This one's still full to the very brim, and this one has nearly sucked up all of that water already. So it'll be interesting on the scales in a minute as well, just to see, you know, how much more porous that is compared to what that is. And in effect, I know you're not doing this in a pond, but what that means by being porous, it takes longer for the water to travel down through, which biologically it gets clean better. So the water's being cleaned a lot better than what it is by using this. I didn't know any other way of showing you or testing to show you the reasons why I love this so much. It's been about 3 minutes, and this one here is completely submerged with water still, and it hasn't gone up through this media one bit. This one here is completely bone dry now. There's nothing in that whatsoever. All of that water's gone, and what you can see, that blue dye in effect, or the FMG's risen up to this point, but inside you can see that it's gone up even higher. I don't know if you can see that, but in effect it's ran out of juice. It needed more water, and I reckon it would continue to rise. But what I'm going to do to what it's weighing now we're weighing 199. So you guys do the math on the difference for me, be very much appreciated. I believe there's a hell of a difference there of what that's holding now. And if you can remember the first one, we will have a look down the outside. It does look like it's done a tiny little bit up through here. You can see there's a little tiny few bits of blue up there, down through the tube itself, nothing down the middle. And inside of that one's weighing 192 now. There's a big difference there, but what I liked about it the most is how porous this is, how quickly that sort of, you can see all the different surface area around the whole lot of it. It just means that's where your beneficial bacteria is going to live pretty much. That's what it does. But yeah, now I've got blue media. I don't know if that was beneficial to you guys or not. Don't really want to be putting this everywhere, but I've made a bit of a mess at the same time. I'm going to get all this cleaned down, but that's the main reason why I like using this. I don't know if it proved anything or not, but for how porous this is the main reason why I like using it, because in effect the water quality is bang on because of this media. Right, so I do appreciate that was a lot of yibbity yabbada, but I don't really know how else to show you the difference with them, what they do, what the benefits is, apart from, I think it's down to preference, what you like more than the other, and I think it is also down to budget as well, what your budget can afford. Without a doubt, the quality of the mountainTree media is amazing. I wouldn't be banging on about something if I didn't think it was any good. I really highly recommend the mountainTree media. Like I said, you can get it from most koi dealers in the UK. I'll leave all the links down in the comment section for mountainTree as well. Check out their Facebook page, check out their TikTok, Instagram. They have actually got a YouTube page as well, because they're probably, for the information side of things, they're probably a lot better explaining it than what I am. I'm just explaining it the whisperer way. And I suppose in effect, it's a bit like a car really. You know, you could have a Ferrari or a Ford Focus. My wife personally drives a Ford Focus because that's what we can afford. But they both get you from A to B. It just depends which way you want to go. And in my koi pond hobby, I want to go in style. And that's why I rock out with a mountainTree, because without a doubt, it is the best media out there that you can get. My personal opinion, I love the stuff. That being said, hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely check out the 3D filter floss though, because the 3D filter pad is, to be fair, it's not over expensive. The results of using it after a few weeks, you'll be totally blown away, because you can wash it, it will get rid of all of your fines. And one thing you can do with it, you can put it anywhere. You can put it in any filter whatsoever. If it's a shower filter, a multi-bay, you could even convert it and cut it and put it into a pressure filter. You can put it wherever you want. But I personally believe the best place to put it is in the top tray, underneath your shower bar, easy to get in and out. You can just clean it in a bucket of water every other day. Well, once a week if you want to, just leave a gap either side. That being said, hope you liked the video. And if I don't see you in a week, I'll see you for a window. Thank you, Mother, for the mountainTree. Bosh.